Welcome to the writings of Patrick S. Smith. Hello, all, and welcome to another episode of my Chaotic Writings. To start with, I've added a new social media, Odyssey. So if you're watching this on Odyssey, thank you and welcome. Unfortunately, I because of the amount of work it takes to do these videos, I'm going to be dropping TikTok after the first of the year. It's just because it's a different format, which means I got to go through and redo the videos a second time in order to post on TikTok. But as far as any stories or poems, yes, I'll continue to post those there. Just be, those will be whenever. It won't be kind of a regular thing. To start off with some updates. In the world of Olith, Naming the Cirrus is now out for beta. I'm trying to get some beta readers lined up for that to see how it goes and what it needs to be done to make it, to finish it, I should say, is the correct term. And I've also storyboarded another story in the Cirrus line. Ramifications is the working title. Probably will change once I get that once there's more work to it, once there's more meat on the bones on that one. Right now it's just a quick storyboard of generally what happens. Going over to the Alexandrians, Helen and Hunting the Angel and Finding Helen are both storyboarded, and I've actually started writing Hunting the Angel. I'm guessing about halfway done with it, at least according to the storyboards. That's where I'm at in it. However, it might be that I'm only a third of the way. It just depends on how it comes out once I actually write the story. And then it will be following up with Finding Helen. And possibly, and this will be after I get those two written, I might add a fourth just as a summary of the overall findings of the team there. I've also storyboarded 2 or 3 more stories in the Twisted Trope line. Now, right now I've not been doing actual titles. It's just been Twisted Trope number 1, Twisted Trope number 2, which was a 2-part story. And so there's not much of a title. So there's not much in terms of the title there, and the order may change. So just take the titling here as a grain of salt. One is they are dealing, the team or the group. The party deals with a massive army that has never been defeated in battle. So, however, if you've read Twisted Trope 1 and 2, you realize everything is set odds here, so who knows what's going to go there. And the other one is the old trope of, the ancient evil being awakened. So I'm going to put those in a blender and see what comes out. Also, I've got some new gags for them, so we'll see. So be fun to write those, rather than just have them floating around in my head. And just for those who, I don't think I've ever talked about Twisted Trope. Basically, I had this wild hair idea of taking your old typical beat to death tropes from fantasy and twist them and bend them, spin, fold, and mutilate. And then take the remains, throw in a blender, and hit puree. So that's why there's a lot of gags in there. There's things set on their ear, because the party consists of, first off, you have Ugg, and he is the brains of the outfit. However, he has a one-word vocabulary. Ugh. Uh, then Azarana, who is a witch, and she happens to be possessed by an angel. And when I say witch, it's a little bit more on the classic side, wanting to do not necessarily do bad things or evil things, just not good things. um, Incognito is the required flop. He is comic relief. He is the butt of a lot of jokes, and it's he is just there for fun. And then finally, to round out the party, you have Dwarf. Yes, that is how he is referred to. He is so drunk constantly, he can't remember his name. And he also happens to be in possession of the party's only magical item, a horn of ever full beer, which he has tapped out a couple times. So, yeah, you could say he's got a wee bit of a drinking problem. So, it's just fun. It is just something off the cuff for me to do, something just to let everything come out and just be loose. And another story I have storyboarded, one that my father-in-law might actually like and want to read, is one that's with the working title of Marionette, because it is he's read some of my material and doesn't like the names and wanted a western. He didn't, he's not a fantasy guy. No problem with that. Well, it's been a few years, but I finally think I got a western, at least a western themed story, and now it's going to be got it storyboarded. Couple elements there I don't like. I like the ending, but I also want to the closure on it I don't like. I'm still kicking around ideas and want to see what I can do with that. So it's just a work in progress. Don't know when I'll actually start to sit down and write it, but I think I've got something there. Just here again, and I hate to use this term to describe my work, but there's no other. It's the easiest way to describe it. It's my one-offs. It's my throwaways. The things I do just to keep the creative juices going in different directions and coming up with new ideas, so everything doesn't get stale and I don't get bored writing it. So, it will probably appear in an anthology at some point, or because it is a one-off, I'll probably try to get that published in a magazine or e-zine and see how well it gets received. And finally, I claim to be a knitter, so here is the proof of me knitting. I am not the best at it. I find it's usually relaxing, just getting started, getting the pattern going, and in rhythm with it is the hard part. Once that happens, with the exception of a Christmas stocking that I do on occasion, I just go brain dead, just knit, 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 knit. So yeah, I do it, and here's the proof. Starting a scarf for my youngest in her school colors. This is like the 20th time I've started this thing, just because either I made a massive mistake and it was too hard to fix, or just didn't like how it was turning out. Because make sure that's right. Yeah, okay, good. So trying something a little different for her scarf, and we'll see how it is. And Oh, and I mentioned the Christmas stockings. This is one my grandmother made for me when I was gosh, mid 70s, I think. First one she did, or one of the first ones, because you can see it's got the name, it's got my birth year on it. Well, no, I'm not proud, man. 1970. So, and I got the pattern from her, and I have done many, many, many of them. And I parts of it I hate. This guy right here, this fat bugger, I absolutely hate doing him because it's so intricate and such a pain in the patootie. But I do them. Normally I just do baby blankets. Because I know my wife, two of her nieces are now mothers, and I did baby blankets for them. I've done stockings for them. I've never done booties. I mean, unless you count stocking. But never done booties. I've done a couple stocking caps, but mainly just blankets. Just because I can just go brain dead it while working on once I get the pattern started and muscle memory kicks in. So, all right, well, that's it for this time. I probably rambled enough, so y'all take care. Have a good set of holidays. Bye. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. You can find more of my books on Amazon.com. Also, you can find more of my stories and poems at patricksmithauthor.wordpress.com. The links are in the description. Thank you.